Welcome back to the Fuel and Fumes podcast. We are your two hosts. I'm Spencer. Beside me is McGregor. We bring you all the Formula One, MotoGP, IndyCar, and any other racing series we get our little grabby hands on. Bring you all the news, anything that's going on. We bring gambling picks. We bring everything that is motorsports related. McGregor, how are we doing?
We're doing well. We've moved out of the basement, out of the boardroom, and here we are in the lovely Hall of Fame Collection Burlington location store, and it's quite a nice change of scenery. This is probably the most beautiful place that we've recorded in.
Yeah, it's
100%.
beautiful. We love Hall of Fame Collection. Hall of Fame Collection is one of our lovely sponsors. Head to the website now, hofcollection.com. We put together a brand new website within the past 6 months. It looks fantastic. It looks awesome. There's nothing better than it, truly.
Yeah, and when this episode comes out, it will have not been Christmas yet, but following Christmas, there will be Boxing Day deals. So be sure to go to hofcollection.com to get all of your Boxing Day deals on pretty anything that you can really see in the back here.
Yeah, anything. And if you head to the website when this podcast drops on Friday, we still have a free shipping coupon for all orders over $250.
Yeah.
So yeah, head to the website, buy some stuff. We love it here. I could live here if I wanted to. I would live here.
And like I actively plot on how I could live in this building, just so I don't have to leave work. You know,
if McGregor could put together a penthouse in here, he would.
Exactly. If I didn't have to drive, like commute, I wouldn't. I'd just live here and play on the Sims and, be surrounded by cool stuff all the time.
Yeah, he would, on the third floor on the roof, which is currently unoccupied, he would try to put his little room together. It would get cold and wet because there is, of course, on the roof, nothing there.
There's no roof. Yeah. Like I'd be on the seat, like on the outside. But it'd work out. I'd spray it for a few days.
I think if you were to put it on the back of the building, if you were to put up a tent, I really don't think anyone would ever notice.
I just think the sleeping conditions would suck because it's like there's a lot of industrial stuff around here.
Yeah. It would be loud. There'd be a lot of fumes going into your little tent. Your health would deteriorate. Yeah.
Fuel and fumes.
Yeah. You could make it work though. There is some good that outweighs the negative in terms of having a golf sim, like you said, having the racing simulators. There's a lot that it brings that you may just ignore. You dying of fume poisoning.
Yeah. Too much fumes. Kind of like some of our listeners.
Yes.
They're just doing too well. They're doing too much listening. Thank you for that. We love you all for turning out every week. Spencer, speaking of turning out every week, you're always here. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Actually, I wanted to quickly throw up our Spotify Wrapped, which is here somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We didn't talk about this. We were gonna make a social media post. McGregor said he was gonna make a post. Never happened. So
I was commuting, man. Fuck.
We ended up increasing our following growth by 329%. We had 23 top fans, and that is more than both of our parents combined. So it can't just be our parents and our spouses. That's more than we have in total on our hand. Our top country, of course, was Canada, US hopping in there, and there were some few European companies in there, countries. And we had an average rating of 5% from you lovely people. Thank you so much.
Rating, what?
5 star.
Oh, 5 stars. Average rating of 5 stars. Yeah. And let's just set the record clear. That's not out of 10. That's out of 5.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Very good. Very good. And our streams were up 147%. And again, as we said before, the following had increased by 329%. So yeah, we appreciate if you guys tune in every week or tune in every other week or tune in every other month. We appreciate you listening.
Should I throw that on?
Yeah, throw a hat on. McGregor is sifting his hands through the drawers at Hall of Fame Collection right now, because there's always plenty of trinkets. Yeah, there's plenty of trinkets around this place.
It's just too much for me to play with.
Yes,
mental stimulation. But yeah, dude, hell of a year for Wrapped. Very good job, Spencer and McGregor. We both did a hell of a job, and good job to you listeners. Shall we call them the fuelers?
Yeah, the fuelers. Yeah, helping us continue the podcast because some days we're like, today. Yeah, today is the one where we're like, do we need to do this? And we have a spiritual animal, and it's called the Fuel and Fumes Ghost, and he has fueled us today to record this podcast.
And you guys are all the ghosts. You guys are all the fuelers or the fuelers. Yeah,
feels right.
Whatever.
Feels right.
If you hate it, let me know.
We'll make it work
with it. But yeah. No, we're here, and we've got a hell of a podcast for you guys.
Yeah, this is actually our last podcast. I don't know if it would be to the new year. I'm trying to think in my head if that makes sense. I know that this is our last podcast. We're not going to do one next week because it's Christmas, and most people don't listen during Christmas. And we would like a singular week break because
that's just what we do.
That's just
family first sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
sometimes.
Fuelers first most of the time.
Yeah.
Families first. One week.
1 week.
That's it.
Out of the what is it? 52 weeks in a year?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, nice.
Except a leap year, which might have 52 weeks in one day.
Okay. Well,
Sure.
yeah, we actually don't have any podcast script for this week. We just going off the cusp.
Well, we do have potentially some of the biggest breaking news of the year that has yet to be broken. Liam Lawson's in. Sergio Perez is out. I think Sky Germany, and there was one other, I think it was Canal, maybe, have reported that this is to be fact, that Perez is out, Lawson is in. What does that mean for Yuki Tsunoda? It means that we fucking riot, man.
I don't know. McGregor told me this morning that Lawson is 95% in the seat. At this point, exactly, I don't buy it.
He's got a cheek in the seat.
I don't know if it's Yuki Tsunoda saying that he made some public comments this weekend saying he was very happy with the feedback from the test.
Yeah. Red Bull was happy with his feedback, which has been a weak point in his game lately.
But this may just be Tsunoda just chomping at the bit, knowing that his seat at the RB seat or at the Red Bull seat rather is up for grabs, and he's just kind of clawing back and making some statements before this news releases. But I don't know. Apparently, McGregor is convinced Lawson has it. It's Tuesday. We're recording on the 17th. I don't know.
I was hoping it was going to break today. I was thinking, you know what? A good Tuesday needs is an F1 Instagram post saying Perez out, Lawson's in. Unfortunately, it'll probably end up being Friday, kind of like the Lewis Hamilton thing with Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari.
Oh, McGregor died.
Almost died. But yeah, I think it's all but certain, all but posted, let's say. But yeah, Lawson, Tsunoda, both have a cheek in the seat. I think Lawson's getting him.
Yeah, I would be shocked if Lawson gets this seat. He has yet to do a full Formula One season. Yuki's had 3, if not 4 this year.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, so it'll be 4. I don't understand, but what we do know is confirmed. Well, it's not exactly confirmed, but Sergio Perez is gone with all these rumors, which is sad.
It sucks. The Mexican Minister of Defense is saying adios.
Yeah, from being such a long tenured driver, started his career in Formula One 2011. He's been in Formula One for a long time, starting with Sauber F1, moving to the McLaren Mercedes, Force India. He's been everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that he had been on McLaren. But
I think it was only for...
It was a 1-season rip.
I don't even think it was for a full season. I think he was just...
no?
I don't know if it was for a full season. It might have just been a stint. We'll ask our Mexican affiliate because I know that he will know. But he had some incredible drives, especially on the Force India team.
Yeah, 19 to first or last to first challenge.
Yeah, he was an incredible driver. He's got a great spirit and known as the king of the streets for a reason. It sucks that he's kind of getting the boot. This year was a sad ending to his career simply for the fact of how good he was. I remember, again, our Mexican affiliate telling us how incredible he was in Force India.
Yeah, and the fact that he's, a national hero in Mexico, as, Mexican drivers usually are. If you look at like Pato, Dan Fernandez, like Mexico just rallies around them, and Mexico's going to need someone to rally around.
Yeah, Patricio Ward hop in that seat.
That's probably it.
Well, in terms of on a different topic, I think the conversation recently I had with someone talking about what do you think? Someone asked me what my thoughts are on Cadillac getting a team. And I kind of just said, I do think that this is kind of just, although Cadillac is the face, I think it's riddled with a lot of Andretti members.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be a lot of crossover, making it a true American team. I think that they're going to pull a lot of IndyCar drivers. Of course, Colton Herta is one of the names we talked about before. I think that there's a lot to kind of discuss in terms of if Cadillac gets the team, when they get their team, are they going to start merging IndyCar drivers with Formula One? That was kind of my point there of, I do think that, McLaren does some testing with, of course, you see Patricio Ward and other IndyCar drivers like Alex Palou, 2022, IndyCar champion for this year. I think that there's a lot of crossover that's going to happen in the next 2 years. Come 2026, I would be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked, actually, if we saw some IndyCar drivers headed to the Formula One grid. I think that Cadillac and other teams kind of want to show that American drivers can drive, especially from the IndyCar grid. So I'm curious to kind of see your thoughts on that. And
yeah, I'm a little bit less, convinced on that. Like, we've seen Pato do McLaren tests, and obviously, different run plans, different everything like that. But like, he seems to be kind of on the lower side of the scale here. Whereas I think a lot of these F2 drivers can maybe get into the car and do other things. Maybe a Cadillac Andretti uses their IndyCar team as a feeder for the first few years while they develop a junior program. Do I think they could be very successful with their IndyCar drivers? Yeah, I do. But I don't know. I'm hoping for a lot of crossover. I just don't think it'll be there.
I think the thing too that most people don't realize is that IndyCars don't have power steering.
Yeah.
So you're really got to be a jacked man or woman of sorts in terms of being able to drive that car competitively. So I think that kind of is a hard crossover going into a Formula One car that really drives itself to an extent.
Yeah, you just kind of have to hold on to the steering wheel and be along for the ride, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I think that might be a hard transition. I think it'd be harder for IndyCar or for Formula One drivers to get in an IndyCar. I think that'd be a significant difference in between IndyCar drivers trying to drive a Formula One car. But I think both are different. So I think, either drivers going from either series would be a difficult or a wouldn't be a flawless drive for either of them hopping in different cars.
It is absolutely not impossible, as we've seen with Yuki Tsunoda driving I think it was a Honda I guess it was a Honda Indy car, and vice versa. But whether or not they'd have the, I guess, I don't even know what it is, just the strength, I guess, to keep going through an entire race. Completely different thing. But yeah, I'm hoping that F1 continues to be a feeder series for IndyCar, where other like Marcus Ericsson, other drivers will be able to just kind of trickle down into IndyCar. Who knows? We'll see it maybe go the other way for a change. But as long as I can remember, there hasn't been somebody that's made the jump from IndyCar to Formula One.
Michael would have.
Yeah. Oh, like back in the day for sure. I mean,
but not seamlessly transitioning.
Yeah. And I mean, there's been a bunch of people that, Jacques Villeneuve, champion F1, IndyCar champion, or
Indy 500 winner and champion.
Yep. Still talent. Great Canadian man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping there'll just be like worlds colliding, but
I still think the coolest thing is Nigel Mansell winning the Formula One championship and then abandoning it and
vacating the title. And
that's baller. And that'll never happen again. Ever.
Never. Because if you win the Formula One championship, you're like locked to the championship, it seems like.
Yep.
Well, unless you're Nico Rosberg.
Yep. Unless you're, that's even baller in that fact.
Yeah. A little bit like, it's kind of weird though, like how he was just so dependent on Lewis for a little purpose. He's like, I'm going to go until I beat Lewis. And then as soon as that's done, see you later.
I still respect that, though. That Nico Rosberg, 2016?
Yes.
I think it's 2016. Yeah, just telling his wife that basically I'm going to do everything to win this championship. What did he used to do? There was one of the exercises he used to do. Was it on the bike? I forget what he did. Like, gosh, I'm trying to rattle my brain, and there was this one obscure fact that I heard a while back, and something he did to like lose weight or to maintain his body fat.
Yeah,
that he did something to like, maybe he had like less material on his suit or something, or on his helmet. That's what it was. It was they used to paint his helmet. If I'm correct, they used to paint his helmet with less paint.
Yeah, he has a black paint job, so he would do no paint, exposed carbon.
Crazy.
And then so he could save like grams on his paint job, but also he couldn't really do too much legs because if his calves got any bigger, he didn't want to be carrying any excess weight in his calves. Like, which is just crazy. Like, I know Jensen Button used to take a supplement to help his eyes adjust faster so that way when he was coming out of the tunnel in Monaco, he could spot his breaking point sooner.
Does that count as PEDs?
No.
It
is technically a PED, performance enhancing drug, but not in the like steroids, D-ball, like anabolic steroids type B.
Even though it's helping his eyesight,
everybody has access to it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
it's
but like
it's not counteractive for your health either.
It's true.
I don't think it could be.
We should take a bunch and see what happens.
Let's take like the PEDs that like a driver would take, but just be, average, not average people. We're extraordinary, but like do average things,
Like drive home in traffic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, so when you're have you ever taken the tunnel here? So when you go under and there's a dark ass tunnel, I always lose myself on that.
Oh, and really? Like, it's not very long.
No, but like when you're going in, it's like you got a spot where the line is so you can make your turn. Just be really good at taking that turn.
Just be really good at
like
taking
once
turns.
a month when you actually do take it.
Yep.
But
this podcast could take a turn because I don't have anything in terms of pressing news. You wanted to talk about stories this podcast.
Yeah.
I actually have one off the top of my head.
Give it a go, Spencer, because I need, like John, a little bit of a kick.
Yeah. Well, I remember this was actually this year, which is sometimes a bit surreal with the job, is kind of seeing certain or hanging out or just rather just having like business dinners with certain drivers. I remember our boss this year was like, "Hey, I'm going out for a drink. Did you want to come?" This was like maybe noon, maybe like 2, maybe even 2:00.
Oh yeah,
we just finished doing work, and I was like, "Who you going with?" He's like, "Oh, Ari Leindyke, fastest man in Indy, 1997, I think it was, doing something." I gotta look at exactly how fast he went around in a single lap. It didn't count because I think that he was in the back group because he didn't qualify for the top 10. So I got to figure out exactly how fast he went. Yeah. So Leindyke had gone in 1996. It was 239 miles per hour, 0.260. For some reason, this one doesn't count because it's the unofficial single lap record, because I think that he was in Q3 or he didn't make the top 15. So since he wasn't in the top seating, it didn't count, which I think is silly. It's still the fastest single lap. But our boss had been like, "Hey, did you want to go for a drink?" And having beers with Leindyke was pretty cool. He's a very cool guy.
Yeah, he's sick. He's got like this aura about him. Like I remember he showed up to the house and just kind of knocked on the door, ventured his way in, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like, he's got very soft spoken, like he's got like long, like crazy hair, and like just kind of walks in and he's like, "Hey man, I'm looking for Darren." I'm like, "I don't know you, but like you got this like presence about him."
Yeah, you seem like I should know you. Yeah. I think that one was definitely, it's just kicking it is cool. Just like just like you're hanging out with a buddy. That's what it felt like.
Yeah,
just hanging out with a buddy. So yeah, I think that one, it's cool too because he's Dutch and I'm Dutch.
Yeah,
and he's just got great hair, so I think that's hell of a head of lettuce.
Yeah, I remember it was like that day you guys just kind of disappeared, and I'm like, "Where the hell is Spencer?" He's like, "Oh, you went for a beer." And I'm like, meanwhile, like John and I and Roy are working at the house. Like,
slaving away.
What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I think the best beer, just to connect these stories, the best beer I had this year was in Nashville. Following the race, there was a Riley Green concert.
Nice.
For those of you who don't know, Riley Green is a rather large country singer. But it was the end of the day. We were all exhausted, but the guys that we were with, the Perry brothers, they had pinched a 6-pack of beer. So we go over to the concert, like, "Hey Mac, how one?" I'm like,
"Attaboy.
Just give me the 6-pack." And it was great.
Yep.
It was lovely.
It's been a year filled of new experience and memories with McGregor hopping on the team and us kind of, introducing him to the world of, what we live in every day, which is just,
it's madness.
But it's just work to us. So like, I think it's kind of surreal when you bring someone in, they're like, "Oh, this is really cool. You got a Formula 1 show car, like in the room." And you're just like,
and they're like, do you get this question too? What is it? what exactly do you do?
Yeah, I get that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's like
that's a good one.
I never tell people the same thing twice.
No,
just so I can keep that like mystique about it. But
you just change your title. Just whatever you want to be.
Oh, I've been doing that.
Just whatever you want to be is truly. It's the world is your oyster here.
Yeah, exactly. Like Israel this week is a model maker.
Yep.
Because
he's basically is Geppetto.
Yes, or the guy from Toy Story. You know, the one that cleans Woody up.
Yes. Yeah. Building what scale is it? 1/18th, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the 1972 Emerson Fittipaldi. It's a great one.
Beautiful one.
Yeah, there's truly there's just anything and everything you can do in one place. We do.
Yeah, exactly. Like you know,
one day you can be like one day you're Geppetto, the next day you're taking pictures of a Lando Norris helmet from the 2024 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix,
and then the next day you're on a last second flight to Nashville because your boss was like, "Hey, I've got tickets," and then you have to help entertain clients and stuff like that. Like it's wild.
Yep.
All this stuff in the back here has to be taken care of, right? So that's what we do.
We're bringing helmets to homes.
Yeah. If this was a charity, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Helmets to homes.
Yeah.
We could do a fundraiser. I'm trying to think. Toronto was pretty good.
Yeah, Toronto, the home race, seeing a fan with the tee on was nice.
Yeah, that was sick. Yeah. I don't think I was as excited about that as I should have been
in the moment. Yeah,
because it was like
definitely catches you off guard.
It was so hot, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like, he's got one of my shirts on. I'm like, first thing is like, did someone throw out put our shirt in the thrift store? And then someone's like, oh, this is sick. There's a guy smoking on it. Like, so I walk up to him. I'm like, hey man, and I'm holding like 6 water bottles.
Yeah,
because we just raided the CAA fan zone.
Nice.
And I'm like, hey man, like that's my shirt. That's my podcast. Like, what's going on here? And then that was it. It was super surreal. But
I think that this year, in terms of heading into 2025, the one race that I do want to go to that I think we're going to try to get the boys to go to is Mid-Ohio.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Pocono.
Pocono is one, but I don't really watch NASCAR to the extent. Yeah. So I think IndyCar for Mid-Ohio is such a cool and unique race in the middle of nowhere, really.
Middle of Ohio.
Yeah, only in Ohio. It's a neat race. It's a cool track. It's really like bring your own launcher. It's like
BYOLC.
That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
And then just hang out, have a beer, and watch the race. It's you get so close to the cars too. It kind of feels like, oh, I'm a little close right now.
Yeah.
And it really kind of gets your spirits up and your adrenaline pumping.
Well, that was like, I mean, Toronto, even when that massive fucking pileup happened and Santino Ferrucci did. Was he the ramp or was he the flipper?
No, Award was the ramp.
Yeah, and then Santino
was the flipper.
Yeah, that was a bit that was a little close for us. And I mean,
that was one of the. Actually, I watched 2. I watched St. Pete's 2023 was a big crash when Devlin had a big crash.
Ooh, Devlin's back, by the way.
Yeah,
he's back at what is it? RLL.
Yeah. RLL.
Nice.
Yeah, there were some big crashes. Toronto was we were close to that one too because that was we were on what turn?
Oh, we were on the
3
back by the water.
Yeah, that's 3, and then that came out of 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So we were just down wood of that happening.
I think the other big one that I remember from this year was, do you remember Power's crash in Indy? I think it was. I can't remember if it was qualifying or practice.
I think it was during the.
Was it during the race?
It
might have been during the race. Yeah,
it was.
And
during
it was.
The race.
You're just sitting there and you hear bang
at the 500. Yeah, it was. It was.
That was one of the first ones that I've actually seen against like a concrete barrier at super high speeds, and then it was just like everything kind of goes silent for a second while everyone figures it out.
Yeah.
I mean, still there's cars racing.
Was it this year or last year where Felix, it was last year where Felix's tire went through the crowd? It split the stanchions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that was like,
that was crazy that it crushed Lay's car. Thank God that wheel ended up coming off. The wheel came off at the 500 track. It went over.
Turn 2 was it?
Yeah, I think it was turn 2 or turn 3, and it came off of the car completely, leaped over the barrier, and there were stanchions on the left and the right, and it went right through the stanchions and into the parking lot. If it was a second before or after, honestly, it probably went into a crowd of people, and that would have been horrible.
Like, to think that was like commonplace back when the Indy 500 started. Like, people, like, there was like, some races where like 30 plus fans would die.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're just,
people it's not that many.
Yeah.
With the 500?
Dude, I was listening to this podcast. It's like brilliantly something. Yeah. Something like that. And it was the entire history. And it was like going about how people, like, drivers would die.
Drivers were dropping like flies.
Back in the day, they'd have co-pilots. Co-pilots would die.
That's crazy.
People in the stands, cars would roll in because there wasn't a safety fence until, I don't even know.
Yeah.
And back when it was gravel too, like
it's like Le Mans all over again when Mercedes
gosh.
pulled. Yeah, not a good look. When Mercedes pulled their car. Do you remember when in Le Mans?
Oh, when
it goes up and it just
yeah, that was wild. I'm trying to think of any other crash that we've seen. That was pretty much. I guess Tom Blomqvist in lap 1 with Marcus Ericsson.
Yeah, that kind of feels like a regular crash. That
was standard.
The power one was that was a hard crash.
That one had gave you goosebumps.
That was a hard crash. It was like a thump that you've never heard before.
Yeah.
Oh, little voice crack there.
Anyways.
Yeah.
That's
all I got. Nice doing a little recap.
Yeah, it is. I gotta say, I think my favorite race experience was Nashville. That was
atmosphere.
Sweet, man. Like,
you would have loved it when it was back on the streets.
Yeah, dude. I wish it was back on the streets. Like, I would have hoped that you'd come for that one, but
I'd
like
come
if
for
it
that
was
one.
there. But
yeah, the streets were cool.
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes out of town, but at one of the NASCAR stadiums. And dude, I didn't realize how much of a draw NASCAR was. Like, there was like 4-lane roads every direction to get in or out of that place.
Oh yeah.
And then great race, great finish. That was that.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Hell of a job. Hell of a company. Bunch of good company.
Hell of a company.
Yeah. Trying to think. It's probably enough rambling.
That's all I got. But before we do end the podcast, we want to thank our favorite sponsor, C4 Energy. Make sure to use our coupon code FUMES. That's FUMES at checkout for 20% off all C4 and Salesforce products. You can use the code if you're in America. If you're not, you can't use it. Canadians, sorry, we're working on it.
Yeah, we've been working on it.
We're working on it.
We're still trying.
We're tooth and hammer.
Yeah, tooth and hammer. Exactly. And I've always said that. And with that, any last words, Spencer?
Have a holly jolly Merry Christmas. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. We'll chit chat.
Yeah, we'll have a good one for you.
We'll have a good one for you. Hopefully, we'll get
they're great.
We'll get some news to break.
Maybe some people.
We're trying to put together some collaborative podcasts.
Yeah,
we're working on it. We're getting our gears grinding, and cars are moving.
Exactly.
So
with that,
we out of here.
Bye.